Hello,
Okay.
everyone, and welcome to the Hippy Soul Sessions. This episode is episode 21, and we have a awesome, beautiful, vibrant guest on today. As you can see,
Yay.
Millie Clay, and I've been following Millie for a few years actually, and she's a hairdresser like me, and she actually has started visionary marketing quite a number of years ago now, and she helps hairdressers market their salon and come out and push their work out to everyone so everyone can see it. So this is going to be a great episode for salon owners, hairdressers, and anyone that has a business that wants to like push their marketing to the limits, because Millie's out there and she wants to say fuck yes to everything.
Yeah,
So
totally. I want to burn it down and restart it. Let's be a phoenix.
exactly. That's what I mean. And welcome, Millie Clay. Hello, Millie.
Hi, beautiful. Thanks so much for having me. Oh my gosh. This is going to be so much fun. We've got so much to talk about because
Do.
I love you. I love your vibe. I love what you bring to the table for people. That's why I was like, when you said let's do this podcast, I was like, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
we're gonna talk some good stuff going on
we
here.
are. 100%. When you said yes, I was like fangirling because I've been following you for ages. I'm like, yes, yay.
Oh, stop it. It's really funny because my kid came home the other day and he goes, Mummy, are you famous? And I go, No, I'm just your mom. I just, post now and then. And he goes, Well, my friend's mum was talking about you, saying you got a blue tick on Facebook and that you post all these really fancy videos. And I was like,
Yep.
okay. Yeah, okay.
I'm Facebook famous, all right? I'm Facebook
Okay, we'll
famous.
say that.
Yeah.
I'm still your mum and can kick your ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a different role with you.
Yeah. This is it. But yeah, thank you
So
so much
so
for having me.
tell me about your marketing business. Tell me like what you do, how people can work with you and that kind of thing. Tell us all about it.
Awesome. I think I do so many things. I think first and foremost, the biggest thing that I like to tell people is I'm a hairdresser. I've done the work. I've done all of that sort of things. And I'm also a salon owner, but my biggest project is visionary marketing. And what we do in visionary marketing is it's a done for you advertising agency. So people come to me and they're like, Millie, I need more clients, I need more exposure. And I'm like, yep, sweet, we can help you with that. But it's not just for me, it's because I've been in the receiving side where I reached out to agency to help me when I was rebuilding my business. Because I've had a shop, I've had home, had a shop, had home, all that stuff. And I had to rebuild my business 3 times. And I think the biggest difference between what I do versus what a lot of other agencies do is number one, I'm a hairdresser, I speak the language and I do the work as well. Number two, yes, I can get results. I know what works. I've got, invested a lot of time in my own coaching with industry experts as well. But the difference for me on another level is not only my magic that I bring to it, but the support. So, I don't just, and I say this in my calls with Salon, not just going to take your money, flick your ads on and thank you, see you later, because that's just
Yeah.
not fair. Because I know my ads can work and get people new clients, but then what happens is that when the conversations start, salon owners, we are hairdressers, and we need to change the culture to realize we are salespeople as well. And I have to
Yes.
teach people sales training because they don't know how to
Yep.
speak properly and they lose a lot of interest because they don't know how to reply properly. So when you
Yes.
come in with me, we turn ads on, we get you clients, but I also have a really close coaching program within the advertising space as well. And I stay in my zone where I teach people, their why. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing, what's so unique about you? Because I need to put that out into the universe. But also,
Yes.
what are you doing to keep these clients? Because we can turn the tap on and they can just keep sifting through. If you're not rebooking, if you're not recommending products, if you're not doing things like that, you're going to have me forever. And I mean, I want that, but I want you to be successful more than anything.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's huge with even if we go back to the ads, putting the ads up, you could just put oh, this is a lovely color that I did today. And a lot of
Yeah.
hairdressers do that. And
Yep.
I did that back in the beginning before I had coaching, was just for that. This is what I did today, some curls today. And that's not going to bring in your ideal client, and you have to get
Exactly.
really clear on what you want to
Yes.
do. So not every ad works. Just because you're paying for
Exactly.
something doesn't mean it's going to work. And that's where
Mm-hmm.
you would come
It's a whole
really help.
system. It's a whole system. And I think the
Mm,
biggest thing, because I speak to salon owners every day, is, and which is something that I know you can resonate with me on, is mindset is so huge right now.
yes.
COVID and staff and this and that and time. And I'm like, honestly, and I say this all the time, you know what? If these are your excuses, quit and go fucking work at Bunnings. Like seriously, like
Yes.
because
Yep.
these excuses are what blocking you from the next level. And
Yes.
a common theme that's come up in the last couple of weeks with salon owners is people have lost their purpose as to why they do what they do, and they got to keep
Why
it
do they have a
separate.
salon? Why are they a
Yeah.
hairdresser? Why do they want to help people in this way?
Yes, yes, and they don't dig deep into their soul. It's all really quite superficial. And so I really stimulate their minds and I ask them, and that's part of my pre-qualification process is where's your head at? Like if you're doing it just because you need to, we can't work together, you have to go back and really, and you got to have separate because a lot of people do their salon in one. They have to do it separate. What is your purpose as a human?
Yep.
What is your vision as a business, and then what is your vision as a team, because you need to, that needs to be across the board. So
Oh,
I'm really anal
100%.
about that shit.
Yeah, yeah. And that's so true because you need to know your values, what you want, your
Hmm.
business values, bring them together, plus your team's values, and then all together needs to be like this really perfect storm, really.
Exactly, exactly. And I think the conversation needs to be brought up a lot more about around mindset work. I remember seeing a post, I think it was in one of the beauty groups about, is there training for that particular side of the business just for team as well? And even my team goes, "Oh, Millie, is there some sort of like counseling course we can do because people's problems are a lot bigger now than they ever used to be. And we are, trying to cope with all of this. And my girls are all 20, 21. So there's not much of that work out there for us.
Yep, yep,
So these conversations need to be had.
they do. Yep. So what kind of excuses and stuff have you noticed? I've noticed a few myself, but what kind of main excuses have you noticed like be repetitive over the last couple of months?
The top three, because I knew you were going to ask me this because it's such a big thing for me right now. And I
Yeah,
asked it in my group the other
I've
day,
noticed it
and
too.
yeah, and I think the number one is finding team, and I call fucking bullshit on that too. Okay. Thank you very much. There are people out there that want to find a salon home. And one of the things that my old coach used to say to me years ago, and she still says it now, is you are the problem and you are the solution. If you
Yep.
can't find team members, you need to look in the mirror and think, okay, what am I looking for? Am I just saying I need a third year apprentice? Like that's it. You need to dig deeper and be like, what I'm looking for is someone that has values or someone that's passionate, because you can teach skills. You can teach them how to
Exactly.
color. You can teach
Yep.
them, and if you're too lazy to teach them, don't be in business, because that's all you got to do.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, so you really need, how we create an avatar or ideal client for our businesses, you need to do the same thing for your
Yes.
team members. And
Yep.
I'm real specific with mine. And then as soon, and because your manifestation is a thing for you too, and it's such a huge thing for me.
100%.
And
Yep.
I actually spoke to a salon owner yesterday. She's like, I'm struggling. And I said, you need to visualize the person that you want. She's had heaps of team. I go,
Call
was there
them
one?
in.
Pull them in, call them in. I said, is there one person you've had in the past that you'd love to duplicate? Like, look at
Mm.
her, visualize her as a person, her values, what she turned up as, and you start speaking that to
Yep.
your clients, speaking that to hairdressers, know hairdressers, they know,
Exactly.
and you can
And
find
if you
them.
talk to clients too, they're like, actually, I know someone like that because you put it out there.
Yes, 100%. And
Yep.
the times of change where you be vague and you got to be specific, because then,
Yep.
and another thing my other business coach says to me is, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to no one, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Got to
And
be
if
very
you,
specific of what you're calling
yeah,
in.
yeah, 100%. And
That
that,
goes for
so
everything, really, doesn't it?
literally, and I love listening to podcasts too. And I was listening to a property coaching podcast the other day, and he was saying that too. He's like, you need to be specific. You need to really, like, it's like saying, get a bleach bowl. No, you go and you get, what is it called? Powder lightener, 20 volt, 10 grams,
Yep.
20 grams. It's got to be specific. And I think that's where us as an industry and business owners are not getting lazy, but they probably just don't know, and you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the teams part is a challenge. I call bullshit. There's people out there that are, and you see the posts of I'm in a salon and they don't have systems and I'm really struggling. I'm trying to sell, and I'm like, ah, who are you? Come and work for me.
Yeah. So how would you talk to your clients with like putting an ad out there, say, for their salon?
hmm
Would they talk about what they would get coming there, or would they call that person in by describing that person? Which way would you go, or would both work?
So one of the things really that I teach in my consultation training is nobody gives a shit about me or my business. Everyone only gives a shit about themselves, right?
Yep.
Where you do
Yep.
ads, where you're doing, and even your clients, when you're doing consult, don't talk about yourself at all. Talk about the client unless they ask you. And it's the same thing when you're calling out. You got to call out to that person about what their needs are. You've got to know what their desires are, and you speak into
Yep.
those things.
Mm.
And that's how you pull that right person in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so true.
It's
Yep.
so true. It's
Because
awesome. It's so
if I was
awesome.
looking at Facebook and I found an ad and I was looking for a job and that ad spoke to me, like exactly what I was looking for, you'd be like,
hmm
hell yes, I want to work for them.
Yeah, she's talking to
You know,
me. She's just talking to me.
she
And I
understands
tick
me.
all these boxes. That's me.
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
and that's where we need to change, because people are like, oh, 75K a year and this and benefits and this and that. Yes,
Yep.
but you can get those things anywhere. What's special about your salon? What can
Yes.
you give to these
Why is
people?
it better to work there?
Yeah, yeah. And even getting testimonies from your current team as well, because if they love you, they'll do a
Yep.
testimony. Very easy to say, I work here and this is what I love about working here. You should come and join us. Things like that.
Yes.
You got to think
That would be
outside the
huge.
box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be huge having say your manager or one of your staff members
hmm
saying, I love working here. Come
Yeah.
join me. I want
Yeah.
another person here. It's so fun. Like,
Well, I
yeah.
recently took on an apprentice, and I have regular one-on-ones. It's very important. And she literally, I always start my one-on-ones with how are you? And because she's new, she's like, oh, I love the job. I said, no, I'm not asking about the job. I'm not asking about how you're foiling. I'm asking how are you as a person. And she sat back
Yes.
and she was like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't, okay. And I said, I need to know how you are, because if you are good, then we roll into business. And the first thing she said to me was like, Millie, I just want to say thank you that you're taking my training and take really seriously, because the places I've been to before didn't take that seriously. And I was like, wow, why are people not doing this?
Do you find that there's less apprentices being put on?
Oh, well, see, I've got connections everywhere, and I call the local TAFEs all the time to check in. I call the school that I went to. I literally ring and say, hey, just checking in. How you guys
Yep.
going? Do you have any babies there that are really good at this, and this? And, do they need a salon home? Um,
Yep.
there is, and I was an adult apprentice. I finished my apprentice pretty late years ago, and I sat in the classroom, and there's still heaps of people there. There's still heaps of people wanting. Whether they last
Yep.
and survive, that's another story. But when I was in the
Yeah.
classroom as the mama bear slash grandma in that classroom, there's lots of interest. It's a matter of having one of my team members go at the time I wasn't hiring. She goes, oh, my friend is looking for a job up here and I can vouch for her, blah, blah, blah. And I said, we're not hiring right now. She went to another salon down the road. She left within an hour. She goes, and I rang and I go, what's going on, babe? And she goes, they had no systems. They had no onboarding process for me. They just
Yeah.
said, here's the broom, here's that, start foiling.
Yep.
And so I think that needs to be addressed. And that's what I teach as well.
It's
I've got this
huge.
big Trello board of the onboarding process.
Yep.
The day, but 1 week before, 1 day before, the day of, the day two,
Yes.
day blah, blah, blah,
Well,
because it
that
makes them
keeps them
feel
part of the
secure.
family. They feel like they're getting coming in and they're like, oh,
Mhm.
I'm being like, yeah, directed in and it helps a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the feedback. And so, yeah, I think again, people just need to come back to the drawing board, look at their purpose, look at what they're doing and why they need people.
Yes.
Yeah, so team is a big one. The second biggest struggle that salon owners have is their numbers. Their numbers. And I'm going to vouch, okay? When I first jumped into this, I didn't do my numbers hour for
Yeah,
years
me
proper.
too. I was exactly the same.
Why I'm that
We don't get
person.
taught business. We just go, yeah, I want to do
No.
hair. So you just start doing hair, and then you're like, what's this business shit? Oh, what?
What's the profit margin?
Yeah, I know. You're like, oh shit. Okay, there's a
Yeah.
lot I need to learn.
Oh, totally. And it wasn't until I got business coach where I sat back and I never forget the session that I had with my coaches because there was two at the time. Because we go through everything. Like I went through every number after that because the first session was like, how much can you make and how much blah blah blah.
Yep.
I never forget crying. I was like, oh my gosh, for the last 8 years, I have been wasting time, wasting money in the wrong places, wasting
Yep.
energy in the wrong places when this is where I should have been.
Yep.
Numbers should be number. I hate those
Numbers
posts.
don't lie
They
either.
don't
So you're
lie
just like, it's
either.
on the
Stats.
piece of paper. That's what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. And so like the questions I see on socials a lot is, how much do you charge for this? And you'll see me going Gundies. I'm like, you shouldn't be asking Facebook. Oi, you need
No,
to go back and do your numbers and charge based on you, not based on
on
the
you.
bob down the road.
Exactly. And it's completely different. So you could have two salons side by side, charging different. You don't have to copy anything. It's
I was one
totally
of those
just you.
salons. I was because
Yep.
I got
Yep.
duped bad. I bought a salon that was next to a barber shop and the owner owned both of them.
Yep.
And it came with a database, came with everything. I was fresh. I didn't know what I was doing. And we signed a contract, everything. And the day I went in, I handed over the money and I was like, okay, where's the appointment book? Because that's the first thing I'm going to dive into. Oh, the appointment book's gone. What? It's in the trash. Okay, which trash bin? I'm going to jump in that bin and I'm going to get it. And they're like, I think the staff members took it. I was like, well, which one? Let me talk to them. I'll go because I'm a bit of a savage. Couldn't find it. So I took over this big business, paid all this money for this business with zero clients, right?
Oh,
And yeah, it was so full on. Where was I going to with this?
that's like a huge lesson right there. That's like a huge like buzz.
Girl,
Oh,
honestly, and I can't even remember why I was telling you that story, but the what were
oh,
we
because
talking
of
about?
the two salons side by side.
Yes. And then what happened, right? So I rang my lawyer and I was like, bro, what are we gonna
Mm.
do here? And he goes, Millie, you can pay me 60 grand because the amount of people that are on the database, I think it was like 200 or something like that, which was really quite small now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And I said that, and they also sent a text message to every single salon. We no longer own blah 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 salon. You need to come to this salon. One of the clients comes with a message and goes, why are you sending me this message? I don't want to go to the barber shop. I want to come here.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, screenshot that and send it to me. Rang my lawyer. I go,
Yeah.
what do I do? And he goes, you can give me 60K. I'll fight it for you. We could do this, this, and this, and you're going to waste some energy, time. Or you can pump that 60K into marketing and remarket yourself.
And just give it a good
Give it a
shot.
hot shot yourself. And so
Yeah.
it was funny because it tested my ego. I was like,
You're like, I am.
let's go, let's go. And I was like, nah, I don't have time for that. I need to build this business because I got no clients anymore.
Yeah.
Every time they would copy it to the font. It was crack up as I was like, clients will walk past and go, why is the barbershop advertising the same thing as you? And I'm like, because they're not creative. And it's a
That's
different,
copy.
it's yeah. So, and that brings me back to when people ask about pricing, it's the pricing is the last thing you need to do. You need to go work out your figures of how much it costs to open your door. You need to go back and you need to price. I know how much a gram of my bleach costs, right?
Yeah.
You need to
I was
go
going
back
to
and
say
do all
that. It's like,
that.
it literally is like the tiniest bit of color, you know how much it costs.
Exactly. You got to go back and do those things first before you come back to the pricing
Yeah.
because you want to
How
price it at a
much water,
percentage.
how much, like just every single little thing. So, that's how much I got to make per week.
100%. So yeah, when I see those posts, you can probably see me ranting on there.
Yeah. But how much clearer is it? Because I was exactly the same as you. I did like whatever I thought I was doing it right and I wasn't
I
at all.
wasn't at all. I wasn't
And
making
then
any
when
money,
I
honey.
when I finally hired a coach, was like, I need some help with this. Finally, like when I
Hmm,
broke my my ego, I was like, righto, I'm gonna get some help.
100%.
And then when I
Yes.
got help, I was just like,
I was like,
and then when you
man, I
and then
cried.
when
Did
you
you
can work
cry?
out by the minute how much you need to make by the minute,
Yeah.
then you can price properly. And that was a huge
Yes.
realization because hairdressers, I noticed, undercharge.
Mm-hmm.
We are just like, we love doing hair, we'll undercharge. Like not everyone, but like if I remember me back then was like, oh,
Oh
just
yeah.
make it that. Just make it that, because
Yes.
you get to know everyone. Oh, it'll be right. Just make it
Yeah.
that. So once
Yeah.
you realize how much you got to make to be able to pay your staff well and everyone a
Mm-hmm.
bonus, plus pay yourself because you come
Yes.
last a lot of the time. So it's like
Yes.
to be able to do that. And once you know that, the discounting goes out the door.
Pretty
You start going,
much.
no, I need to do that. That is
Yes.
exactly the amount.
100%. And it's a system. You gotta put in the work. Like I just was running some numbers yesterday. It was like an 8-hour job. Like it was, formulating, doing all this sort of stuff. So
Yes.
I think it's a matter of realizing that yes, I understand your passion is to make people look and feel good, but you are not going to survive. Or you are going to survive and everyone else is going to suffer because you probably pull money out of your mortgage, out of other
Yeah.
places and things like that if you don't do your numbers. You must do
Yeah.
your numbers. Like,
My coach years ago when I was in the salon said, every time you discount means that your kids don't
hmm
get milk or don't get something, it means
hmm
each time. And when they said that to me, I was like, oh, when you put it like that, it's so like because you
hmm
can you just easily discount without realizing the
yeah,
effects, the after effects of it.
100%. And that also comes back because I'm really big on mindset, like really big on it. It comes back to your own inner projections because I've had to do a few training sessions. My team are amazing. Like they're amazing. They're open. They're raw. They're ready to learn, and they trust me. And young. Some of it's weird sometimes because they're like, I'm just going to charge this. They didn't even think about it. But then I
Yeah.
know when something's going on in their life, when they're struggling or something's happening, they're like, oh, I don't know if I should charge this. And I go, and I pull them up and I'm like, are you projecting your problems at home right now onto this? Like, are you?
Yes.
Just
Yep.
because you can't afford that thing, does that mean that our clients can't afford it?
Can't afford it. Yeah,
I
exactly.
said, no, that they're affording it is none of your business or mine.
And that is a huge mindset thing. That's what I had,
Mm-hmm.
was like I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
afford that. So why would I? Yeah, like if I had to go to a salon, I probably wouldn't have been able to afford my own hair
Yeah.
at the time. So and then that's why I would discount.
Yeah.
It's
So
such a
stupid.
mindset. It's such a
It
mindset
really
thing
is. Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
like that, you're like that.
Yeah, and so I always pull it back to them, and my girls are starting to get a lot better with that sort of stuff too, because it's like if you're feeling that way, that's okay. Just chat it out with me, or speak to your family about it, but don't ever bring it to the floor because our clients are coming
Yes.
to us for a certain reason. I
Yep.
mean, we don't really get it, but if we got some people like, oh, is there a discount? I mean, I personally would never do that. Never.
No,
I'll go on and I'll
I
just
never do
pay.
that.
I never do
Yeah.
that. But if they do it, first thing I go, I'm pretty bad though. I'm pretty savage. I'm like, ah, you got balls to ask me for a
Yeah.
discount, bruh.
Maybe I will because you got
Yeah,
balls.
yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, I'm gonna reward you for being so
Yeah.
awesome.
My grandma was like that. She'd just ask for a discount all the time, and she would get it because I
Yeah,
used to say the squeaky wheel gets the oil
yes.
because like she'd just like whinge about something, and they go, "Oh, just make it that, like whatever, just get it."
What's really interesting though is I used to be like that. I used to grind, I used to hustle for the cheapest deal, but since doing my own businesses, I find it a little bit disrespectful by
Yeah,
doing that. And I don't do it anymore unless I
yeah,
feel like I'm like, I know in my heart that I should ask for this.
yes, yeah,
But and that's on the flip side of things of people doing that you got to think of everything that goes into it
yeah,
but yeah, it's all mindset. Everything's mind.
yes.
Everything
Because there's
comes back to that.
another thing that like changed my point of view as well years ago was um that people come to you, they might have saved up $400 and they want to spend $400 on their
Mm-hmm.
hair, and you
Mm-hmm.
go, oh, don't worry about it, just make it 200. But they're like, no, I came here to spend this.
Yes.
They want to do that, and it's like you're
Yes.
cutting them down by
Mm-hmm.
just doing that. It's like no, they want to do that. They saved up, they were waiting for it,
Yep.
they're wanting to do this. Like even when it comes to products and stuff, like a lot of
Oh
hairdressers are like,
yeah.
oh, I don't want to recommend. It's like they come here, they're like, I've got this much to spend, I want to give me that, like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want it,
Don't even
you
get me
know.
started on retail.
Yeah, yeah. That's like a whole nother podcast we need to do
Oh
on a
my
whole nother
gosh.
podcast.
Yeah, we
We need to
should
do a
book that
podcast on each
in.
section
Seriously.
of it because there's
Seriously.
so much. But just yeah, just as you were saying that before, um, Millie's got like a surprise to tell everyone because she hasn't actually brought this out publicly, and you kind of have hinted to it
I
just as you've
have.
been going along,
Yeah,
but she's
yeah,
got
yeah,
something
yeah,
to
yeah.
say.
Um, so I love the salon world and I love visionary marketing and helping salon owners, but I also love getting my hands dirty. And I also love to walk the walk that I'm talking. I love to do the things that I tell people to do. So I jumped back into the salon world this year. I officially own Show Off Hair and Extensions on the Gold Coast. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
And I fucking love it because I'm living and breathing what I do, how I speak to. I can relate to
Yep.
people really quite easy. But I also, the part that I love is I've implemented all my processes because that's one big lesson that I learned a long time ago,
Yes.
that I have to have processes and I've implemented them all into the business. And I love sharing that information with salon owners. I just love
Yes.
it
In real
because
time.
in real
You're there.
time, in real time,
Yep.
babe, this is what I've done. One of the
Yep.
things, I'll give you a little sneak poke. One
Yeah.
of the things that I one of the things that I came across years ago that I was like, you do, or you have a big to-do list. And it sat on my to-do list for a very long time was a lookbook, right? So I created this little lookbook of just exhibiting. It's literally just photos, very, very minimum words, no words actually till the last page and before and afters. And I did this lookbook and it's so successful because it just exhibits your work. It shows it's just
Yeah.
about your work. And I've been teaching that to a lot of my salon owners because if people don't want because when you turn on ads, you have lots of conversations and you do get rejected a lot. And
Yep.
instead of ghosting people, and this is one of my inner secrets that I'm sharing right now,
Yeah.
um,
Woo.
and instead of saying no, I want to leave a nice taste in people's mouth because my salon has ads as well. So everything
Yeah.
I teach, we're doing in there. And one thing that is really important to me as a human is I want the salon to make me feel like I've been heard. And even if they're out of my budget or it's just not right timing, I want to be not left on ghosted because when
Oh,
people come
yeah.
with us, I do audits on their inboxes and they if the client says too expensive or just they just ghost them and I said that's
Yeah.
so rude. Don't
It's
do
nearly like
that.
going like this to them.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm like, reply to everybody, even they may not be ready now, but if you've made them
Yep.
feel good, when they are
Yep.
ready, they'll come back to you, right?
Yeah. And
And
especially
they'll
if you've
tell
given them
everybody.
some information about your salon or yeah.
And I created the lookbook. So yeah, if
So
you
that
join
goes so
me,
like
I'll teach you.
if they say like, yeah, that's too expensive. And instead of ghosting them, you go, that's all good. I've got a lookbook here if you want to have a look through and
hmm Have the
and go
best
like
day,
that.
babe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just a really nice way to finish things off because
Yeah.
if they're not ready, they will talk about you. They'll be like, "Oh, I saw the salon and it was such a nice conversation." You do not know the networks that you are speaking into.
Yes. Yeah.
So and that's where I like to share that with my salon owners because if it's successful for me and it works within my ads, the first thing I do is I jump on a Zoom call. I do a
Yeah.
little see where people are struggling. I jump on a Zoom call with them and say, "Hey, look, I've tried this and it works really well. This is how you do
Yeah.
it." Da, 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 da. So it's not
Yeah.
just for me. Visionary marketing is not just advertising;
No,
it's coaching as well.
it's everything. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
coaching is huge. Like you said, the mindset around
hmm
that as well. Because you imagine like what you were saying then is like if someone came into the salon and that you said and they were like, we want to get extensions, and then you tell them the price, and then they say it's too expensive, and you just get up and walk off.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
That's
my
what it's like.
gosh.
And then
It
and
is.
people are happy to do that on their messages. It's like, no, if
hmm
you're not going to do
hmm
that in real life,
Don't
don't do
do
it
it.
in your
Yeah.
messages.
Yes, 100%. So yeah,
Yeah.
the show off has been a challenge. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It's been long, long nights, lots of investment into renos and hair and things like that. Because the hair
Yeah.
extension salon is a different beast too, because you
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
hair
So it's
and
a whole
color.
nother thing.
This ain't the
Yeah.
same as that. Like you got to do it all,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. That's
Um,
huge.
but it's also it's been so rewarding that the things I've been teaching people for years that I'm actually doing, I know they
They
work.
work.
You
Yeah.
just have to do the work.
Well, that's the thing is you could keep learning and learning, learn, and know it, but it's
hmm
actually implementing it.
Yes,
And
and
because
then
sometimes
policing it after
implementing it,
that.
yeah, yeah, and then and keep on top of it because sometimes
hmm
implementing is the scariest bit.
Oh,
Like you're like, I know I
100%.
need to put my prices up. I know I need to message people. I know I need to do all these things. but you don't
Mm-hmm.
do it, but you know all of it. But
Pretty
if you don't
much.
do it, you don't
Yeah.
see any change.
Pretty
And that's when you
much.
and that's when you whinge. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, this is not working,
It's the
you know?
world's fault. It's my mum's fault. It's the
Yeah,
tree's fault. It's no, it's
yeah,
your fault because you're not
yeah.
taking it. And I think that's where I love your branding because your ethos is to empower people, whether that be a salon owner, whether it be just,
Yes.
anybody. And I
Yeah.
think that is so pivotal to have that confidence. Like I went in
Yes.
and I was like, okay, this is not right. I'm upping this by $200. And I didn't even think twice about it.
Yep.
And I have calls with salon owners. I'm like, I tell them that's what I did. And they're like, "Oh, how did you do that?" I'm like, I ran my
Yep.
numbers. I was making 11% profit. So I'm going to up it. So
Yeah.
I'm making,
Yeah.
80% profit. And they're like, I was like,
Yep.
well, the people will pay if you give them value, right? They're
And if
not
you
just
know
there.
deep down that you're giving them even more value than that,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
like, they're getting so much more. So I know that that's the right price and I don't feel
Mhm.
bad about it.
Pretty much, I don't feel bad at all. I'm like, you come
No.
into my salon, it's like a 5-star experience, babe.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to
You get
get
cheese
the,
and crackers.
yeah, exactly. You're going to walk in and feel like a $1 million. So, like,
Pretty
or
much.
more,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
So it's
really,
like,
it's fun. It's fun to be
and
back on
you're
the
in
floor.
business. That's the thing. That's
Yes.
what
Oh,
I
yeah.
think. I think creatives do that. We're
Mm.
very good at being creative and doing all this stuff. And then when it comes to the business stuff, it's kind of like, yeah, we
I
get
don't
a
want
little bit, yeah, don't really
to.
want it. It's a bit boring as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Like,
so
but it actually
boring.
can be really fun. I've actually learned to really love it. I've come to
Ah,
love it after years of like hating it. And now I love it
100%.
because you can see the power in it. And once you bring the creative and the business together,
Hmm.
that's where the magic is too.
And I think I remember sitting in TAFE because I had been doing hair for years and I got traumatized by cutting someone's hair too short. So I stopped. I was like, I don't
I
want to
think
do
we've all
that.
done that before. I think
Yeah,
we've
I
all
had a
done that.
client cry because I cut too much hair. I was just like, I'm not finishing my cutting. I had to just as a personal goal. And I went back to school and because I knew how to do color and they were using the same color brand that I use. I'm like, you guys are doing this wrong. This is how you're supposed to do blah, blah. And they're like, shut up, Millie. And I'm like, even cutting the hair because that you don't in the school I went to, you don't put your head down when you're cutting. You got to keep it up. And I was like, I know this haircut's gonna be ugly. I don't know how I'm gonna pass. And they're like, Millie, if you want to make check, because I said you guys need to talk more about business. Like you need to talk about more about business
Yeah.
too as an education module. And they're
Yep.
like, you want to make this change, you got to go to the government and tell them because these things were made in like the papers were written in the 1960s. You
Yeah,
need
I
a
know.
petition to the, and
That's
I was
it.
like, we need to teach people more business side of things
Yep.
because you're a hairdresser from a young age. You leave school and go straight into hair school and then straight onto the floor when you
Yep.
don't teach any business acumen, any numbers, any mindset,
No.
none of that. They don't teach any of that.
And that all
So
has to come because most hairdressers go out on their own
pretty
eventually.
much, yes,
So it's like
pretty
that's
much.
huge.
It's yeah, again, another podcast.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
But
Definitely is because the
yeah,
business and mindset you don't get taught at, say,
really
when you go to,
don't.
like you said, like at TAFE and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, you just kept, you know, all the skills, and that's it
And that's
of
a, and
of
and
hairdressing.
that's only a small, I would say that's only like 30% of
Yeah.
running the business. And it's funny because I didn't really realize this till I had a really rough patch in my life. And I went through different psychologists and different counselors, and I was like, you're not, and I found one therapist and that she helped me to educate myself in the mindset space. Then I did
Yep.
some work with Chris Duncan, who works in conscious mind stuff as well. And it wasn't until I'd done all that when I was like, that you just something opens in you where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm currently in the fear zone because I've made myself uncomfortable. I just need to keep going through this fear zone and then go into the learning zone and then go into, the growth zone.
Yeah.
But not everyone has trauma and then has to find a psychologist to teach you this shit.
Yeah. But
So
but
that's
when you
really
know that kind of
important.
stuff, it's huge.
Powerful,
It's
hun.
massive.
It's powerful to
Yeah.
know that. And your conversations change as well. Hi, darling.
You're on a podcast. Bye bye.
Potty. My kids wanted to stay
I
home
found my ring.
too.
Just wanted me to give he was ready for
Beautiful.
school and then he's off school today.
That's all good. That you can just edit that out. That's fine.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye,
Just
honey.
have to cut that bit.
Mum's working. Mum's
I like
working.
play mine.
Yeah.
My kids do the same too when I'm on sales call. I warn people, I'm like, just letting you know, I'm a
Yeah.
mum. I've got 4 kids. They may pop in because it is dinner time at this time
Yeah.
that you chose to speak to me, and I'm sorry in advance. Be like,
Exactly
oh,
on
look,
that same
Millie.
same time they do it every time.
I know, assholes. But yeah, I think it's really powerful as an owner to be armed with more information.
Yes.
More.
It
The other
made me
thing,
think, yeah, when you
there's
said that about about people skills as well,
oh
because we don't get
yeah.
taught that either. But yeah, sorry,
No.
keep going.
No, that's fine. Sorry. Because I do feedback with my team regularly because I do observations as well. They're like, because that, and I'm like, I'm pretending to work, but really I'm listening. I worked for Commonwealth Bank for 14 years. It was very corporate, and that's where I get a lot of the stuff from in
Yeah.
here. And I've implemented a lot of things that they did with me in the bank, which is really, really valuable. One of them is
Yes.
observations. And they're like, I've never had
Hmm.
this before. And I was like, how is he going to learn? How is he going to grow? And one of the biggest feedbacks, and my girls are so good at it now, is I said, you need to stop talking about yourself. Yes, you see it, people say it 80-20, blah, blah, blah. But if you give specifics and say, look, I heard you talking about this, this, and this, but when I could see the client wanted to talk about themselves, you need to stop and you need to
Yeah.
listen. Even if you zone out, doesn't matter because
Yeah.
that's their time to sit there in our sanctuary. That's what I call my
Yes.
salon, hun. I call it a sanctuary because it
Yes.
is.
Yep. And they're coming in to get their hair done. Some people just don't want you to talk to them at all, and you've got to pick up on that. You've got to
Yes.
pick
Oh,
up on
I
they
have
don't
that
want
part of my
conversation.
consultation process, babe. I ask them,
Yep.
do you want a
Yep.
quiet appointment or do you want to have a chat?
Yeah. And then some want to know everything about you. So and you'll know.
Yes.
But
Yes.
it's picking up on that, isn't it? And just like and actually reading it, like you said, observation of that and taking it on and doing, what is required at that
Pretty
time.
much, pretty much. Just stop and I have it on my consoles. Stop and listen. Just stop and listen.
Yes. Yeah.
That
Because
in
they want to be
itself is
heard too.
powerful. Oh,
Seen
yes.
and heard.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%, 100%. But yeah, the other one, the last one that I see that people do have issues with, and it's really interesting because my job is to get people clients, right? And there's actually two more. This is they say I'm struggling getting clients. And I always ask them, what are you doing organically? Because I still, man, don't get me wrong, I'm running a business. I want to take their money and help them. But I also feel if you can do a few things by yourself, I built my first salon, that one I was telling you about, with no social media. Like I didn't know what I
Yeah.
was doing. Word of
Yep.
mouth. I was hitting the concrete. I went and saw every salon in the area and said, "Hi, Emily. I own the shop now. Can you send me people that you can't serve?"
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Build relationships.
build
It's huge.
relationships and networks. And so a lot of people say, "Oh, I just want ads to get new clients." I said, "What are you doing organically to get clients? Because that's
Yeah.
important as well."
It is.
It's a big system. It's not just switch on ads. It's doing this, it's doing that. And I teach a lot of the strategies that I personally use to do it,
Yep.
which is really, really important. It's not just, and it's funny because people will go, "Oh my God, Millie," and I'm like, no, because I want you to be successful.
Yeah.
Because if you're successful, you'll stay with me longer, and we'll
Yep.
have more a valued relationship.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's another lesson. But the last one that I want to bring up as an interesting conversation with you
Yeah.
is I had a chick message me in my inbox because she wanted to do some work with me in the past. And I was like, look, I want to stay in my lane. I want to do advertising for salon owners. And if they find me too expensive, I have a course that
Yep.
I literally just said to my team, I go, can we write down everything that we do and put in
Yeah.
a course because people can't
Yep.
afford it, right? Not everybody, it's just a mindset thing. But I was like, so at
Yep.
least I can offer them. This is a training course of every step that I take, every step. There's no bullshit in there. There's no, and it's strictly for advertising and a little bit of foundation work. That's my lane, right? And I had this chick and I said, look, you should go to this coach because I think she will serve you better than what I will. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, she's been following me and she hit me up and she goes, I see you own a salon and you haven't told anybody about it. She must have stalked me. And you're supposed to be a business coach and like, why are you lying? And I was like,
Oh.
Yeah, and I said to her, I go, first of all, I'm not lying. Secondly, I'm doing some ground foundational work within my business before I do
Yeah.
that because I know as soon as I start pumping it personally, it's going to change. But I need
Yep.
my foundations done. And then it stirred my soul where I was like, and it's like I was honest. I said, "What is your problem? Like, I
Yeah.
feel the energy of you coming at me, but I know it's not
You're
me personally."
upset with me for
Yeah,
something that I haven't
pretty
done.
much. And I said, "Can you share with me what's really going on here?
Yeah.
Because this is a good subject." And she goes, and this is across the board at the moment with coaches. She goes, "I'm just sick of fake coaches in our industry."
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And and she goes, "I'm sorry that I've done that. I've said this to you." And I said, you need to understand that business owners can do what the hell they want. And I can do what
Yeah.
the hell I want with my business. But I don't want to share that that's my business yet because I need to do some
Yeah.
work on it first. That's my
Yeah.
prerogative. But don't you dare question me because I'm still authentic and I pride myself on
Yeah.
integrity. And she goes, "Look,
And
I've
that's a
just
totally
wasted."
different business anyway to your
I
coaching. It's totally
know.
different. It doesn't
I
matter
know.
what other businesses you have.
Pretty much, but it also really brought up something, and I get it because
Yeah.
I don't coach like other coaches because mine is very niche. I've had coaches before in and out of the hair and beauty world. I had a coach that she was in feminine stuff, and I literally spent thousands of dollars with her. And by the end of the conversation, what she said is that I've spent money with people and they've not helped me properly.
Yes. Yep.
There's a lot of
Yep.
fake people that say one thing, they
Yep.
do another. Da, 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 da. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, there's two sides to that for me. Is one is that yeah, she's projected her
Mm,
issues of every coach that she's hired has like
hmm
some of them probably weren't the best or whatever. But
mm.
there's also the other side of her actually implementing it, like we said before. So
Yes.
I've bought a million courses. I've
Me
had
too.
coaches. There's some I haven't even done, and then I can turn
Yes.
around and say that coach is shit
Yeah.
because I didn't do it. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so sometimes I think it's a bit of both because there is yes, and it's with every profession. There's always
Oh yeah.
a dodgy one. There's always a dodgy one. You've got to sift through some of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think majority is. I really
Well,
don't.
I said to her, I go, no one put a gun to your head and make you press that button to pay for it. Like you
Pay
made the
for it.
decision to do it. You didn't do your
Yes.
research.
Yeah.
Again,
And
look
there
in the
could have
mirror,
been
babe.
something there that she wanted and wanted a result and she didn't get the result, but there'd be a reason why she didn't get the result. So like you'd like to say like see her what she was looking for and then what she actually did to try to do that. I think we've frozen up.
I'll just wait. There you
There
go.
we
There you
go.
are. There you
Yeah,
are.
I'd like to see what she wanted to achieve and then what she did in the course and whether she did like all the steps
hmm
to and then didn't get the result. I'd like to just like you'd have to see it
I
to see
think it's
what happened with it.
a reality. Is that me or you? Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go.
Don't know. There we go. I don't know
There we
whether it's
go.
me or you. There we go.
I think
Sorry.
it's there's a few things there, right? So with the coaching space, and when I do speak to salon owners, they want things done yesterday. Like I
Yeah.
had one call the other day and she's like, I just want like 20 clients like immediately. I said, just doesn't work like that. All
No.
you see is the end result when you see successful people. They're probably
Yes.
doing it for 25 years. That's why they've gotten to
Exactly.
where they are. So it's
Yeah.
that instant gratification culture at the moment.
Yes. And that is a big thing at the moment is everyone's like, yeah, I want results now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
comparison is the killer of joy. It's
I
like you compare
know.
yourself against
Oh.
all these other people that are doing these things. You don't know their background, you don't know what they've learned, that you don't, like you said,
Mm-mm.
like you don't know whether they've been grinding at this for 25 years and now you're just seeing it.
Pretty
Like,
much. I say that to my kids too, because I think it's really important that this stuff starts at a young
yeah,
my kids know how to make money because I teach them these things, and it needs to start at that level where
it does.
comparison is a killer of joy. I've got
Yeah.
four boys, and they do sometimes compare. My 8-year-old compares himself to the 22-year-old, and
Yeah.
I'm like, cut it out. Like,
Yeah.
you're in your own race, running your own thing, doing your own thing. Enjoy who you are. love who
Yeah,
you are. And they're like, but ma'am, why does he get to finish work and come home early and I have to stay at school? And I'm like, because he's 22.
yeah, yeah. I think everyone does compare in some way because I think, well, my two kids, they compare against each other, but he got that and she got that.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we do
yeah.
compare, but it's like realizing what you're doing and then going, hang on.
Self-awareness
Yeah,
is the key to that.
yeah.
So yeah, I think with and there is a thing in the coaching space because there's this really prominent she's not a business coach, but she helps with certain things on socials. And she even mentioned it saying, I've been burnt by coaches before and blah, blah, blah. So I think the biggest advice I give to people is before, and I should have done this myself, and I have been doing this, is before you sign up to anything, before you do anything, do your research. Do your fucking
Yes.
research, man.
Yep.
Ask to speak to existing or past clients. Do your research on who, but also go into that coaching session knowing exactly what you need,
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. And
right?
and have a conversation with them first. Ask to
Can you
jump on
help
a
me with
Zoom.
this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Ask to
help me
jump
with
on, see them
this?
face to face so that you can
Uh-huh.
go, righto, okay, I think that's a big thing too, because I think some of the bigger companies that you don't see a face to face
Mm-hmm.
thing. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that can be a bit of a deterrent for people as well, because I like to work with people face to face because
Yes.
I
Or
think I
Zoom.
find it's really yeah, also yeah, Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like it's personal. You know that okay, you can see that person, you can see whether they're genuine or not. You can feel it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
For me that's how I would work.
Yes, 100%. So, and that's the advice I said, just don't sign up to anything. Don't give in to the desperation and the
Yeah,
scarcity mindset of they're going to help me change my life. No, you're the only one that's going to change your own life. Like,
exactly.
cut it
Yeah.
out. Like, seriously.
And sometimes too, I've bought courses and or worked with people before, and it might be one thing that they've said that's changed everything for
Yes.
me.
Oh, yes. A
So it's not, it
hundred
mightn't be the
percent.
whole thing that I
Hundred
loved. It was
percent.
just this thing. I'm
And
like,
and
that
that will
has
change your
changed everything.
life. That'll change your
Yeah.
life. And I
Yeah.
think because I had one of another call that I had, and I understand her. So I've been through a few coaches, and one of the coaching systems that I went through is they made you do all the work yourself, which I hated. I was like, fuck, just give it to me. Give
Yeah.
it to me. I don't have time to sit down and do this.
Yeah.
So what I've done with my stuff is I've written, and I know there's probably grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes. This is all from here. So
Yeah.
when people come and do training with me on my course, I legit give them a video. This is how we walk through it. And I also
Yeah.
give them PDFs of, don't fucking waste your time. I'm gonna do it. This is what I've got. You can
Yeah.
use it or not. It's up to you, but don't recreate the wheel and waste your time. I've already done it. Here's the
Yeah.
worksheet. Here's the templates.
Yes.
Here's all that sort of stuff. Because I remember when I was coaching, if they could have given that to me, it would have saved me so much time and effort and
Yes.
heartache. So that's where
Yeah.
I do my stuff different too.
I think that's a big thing too, is like you've just brought that up, is how someone teaches is huge to resonate
Mm,
with you. So if you are a visual learner, find someone that gives you visuals.
mm,
If you're someone that likes to be right in it and take action and do the actual thing, find
mm,
someone that teaches you that way. I think that's huge because
100%.
you're going to resonate better and you're going to learn better.
Yeah, yeah. So I think again, the whole self-reflection, looking in a mirror is what do you want? How do you learn? Do you know
Yeah.
who you are so that when you go look for help, that you can say, this is who I am, can you help me? And hopefully the
Yes.
coach does have integrity and says, look, yes, I can help you with this. Or no, I can't help you, but this person can help. I always
Yes.
send people to different coaches,
Yeah.
always.
That's a great business thing to do too. It's just like,
Yeah,
if you can't help someone, but like
yeah,
if someone came to me and was like, I've got a salon, you're like, Millie can do this
yeah.
for you. Like, go to Millie.
And exact right, exact. And
And
I
vice
my ego
versa.
pops into it. I'm like, make
That's
sure you tell them
huge.
I sent you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can do that too. And then they go, thank you. Then I'll send someone to
Yeah,
you next time
it's
or
building
whatever. It
relationships.
is. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
Mm.
business, is building relationships. It
Oh,
really is.
hello, yes. Hit the
Yes.
nail on the head there.
Yeah. Good.
Mic drop.
Yeah. If I had a mic here, I'd do it.
I know, just pretend. I love that.
You should have a mic. You got one, but you don't want to drop
I
that. It
can't.
should
It's
be
stuck to the stand. I can
yeah.
take this off though.
Just throw it.
Mic drop.
Oh,
Bloody
I've
hell.
absolutely loved having you on too, Millie. This has been amazing. I think we've
Oh,
got so many topics that we could cover. I
ah,
think we need to do this a couple of times. I really
I
do.
reckon too. I love this because I'm jumping on with the bridal expert this afternoon, and I'm recording a few of my own podcasts. And I think it's so one of the things that happened to me is I went on a podcast with another coach last year, and I don't think she posted it because I I love her, don't get me wrong, but I think there was because she mentioned something to say I was talking to other people and they're questioning why I'm having a collab with you when she does similar things to what you do. And
Oh,
when I heard that, I was like, I was so disappointed because I'm that like, mate, I love to work with everybody. You just have to
yeah.
stay in your lane and do your work to get your clients. And if it doesn't work,
Yeah.
it doesn't. There's no threat. There's no
Oh,
competition.
that's a huge topic in itself because
I know. Can we
again,
park that for the
same as
next one? Because that
salons.
pissed me off.
Yeah, same as salons, same as coaches, same as any industry, is
Hmm.
there's enough people for everyone.
I
And when you
know.
realize that, and you could be a salon there and a salon there, coach there, there's enough
Mhm.
people, and like we were saying, if you find someone that resonates with you, there's
Yeah.
enough people and enough personalities, and you know,
And it
the
comes back
scarcity
to
thing,
again, yes, and but
yeah,
it comes back to mindset.
it
And I
does.
say this all the time, and I only learned this the hard way. Where I was in Broadbeach, right? Because I was in the middle of Broadbeach on the Gold Coast. I'm not even kidding you. I think it was like 7 or 10 salons within 200 meters of me.
Yep,
Right. And
yep,
I went to every, and I built, and that was what, 2015 or something like that. I went
yep.
to every single one of those salons and I said, Hi, I'm Millie. I'm your friend. I am not your competition.
I'm not your, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they're like, one of the ladies, Rhonda, she's been in the business for like 100 years. She's like, You're so weird. No one's ever come to my salon and done that before. And I've been in this business for like 50 years. And I go,
Yep.
Good. That means you're going to remember me.
Yep. Yep. Exactly. And I bet you she sent you people. I
You
bet
know
you she
what?
did.
We're still mates now, years and years and
Yeah.
years later, years and years. And
Exactly.
she's like 80 now, and it's really buzzy.
Yeah.
But I think that needs to happen, like, because that needs to happen with salon owners. That needs to
Oh, that's
happen.
huge in the hairdressing. I've noticed that in the hairdressing
Yeah,
industry and beauty industry, that's a huge topic.
yeah, 100%. And I think this is just to add to that, the last piece to add to that is if you know who you are, you're confident in what you have to offer, and you know how unique you are, and you give value for what you do not have to worry about the salon down the road because theirs story's different.
Yeah. Totally different.
Totally
Yep.
different. Another mic
And,
drop.
and yep. Yep. Just pretend this is a mic. No, it's so true. That is so true, Millie.
Oh, it just gets my
Ah,
blood going.
yeah. Yeah, it does to me too. That's a huge topic that I'd love to just cover a whole podcast on.
Oh my
That's
God,
what we got to
girl.
do.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And I'll chuck your session on mine and you can chuck mine on yours because I'm
Oh yeah.
supposed to be launching mine at the end of the month. Let's see how that
Yay.
goes.
What are you going to call it?
So I've got a little group called Cut the Shit Business Coaching with Millie Clay.
Yeah. Oh yes,
Uh,
I've seen that. That's cool. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. I'm gonna call my podcast "Cut the Shit" because I'm fucking sick of
Yep.
the shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry, mum. Sorry,
Yeah.
mum, for swearing much.
Ah, I'm looking
My
forward to it.
yeah, my first episode is get your fucking head out of the grass, honestly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
people, we need to stand up for ourselves. Our industry needs to change. We need to charge more money, charge what
Yeah.
we're worth, so people take us
Yeah,
seriously.
exactly. Well, it's funny that you say that because like my partner, he said over COVID, we had to stay open. We were one of the, essential
Mhm.
things. And he thought maybe this is going to change the hairdressing industry because this is a section now that
We're
this is
we're
our
we're
chance to sort of go,
essential.
we're essential. We weren't shut down. This is our chance to go like, we know everyone needs
Mm,
us. And it
I
didn't happen. And
wish.
it did piss me off. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
for fuck's sake.
That's a good subject. That's a good subject to talk
Yeah.
about because I think
Yeah.
the reality is stop undercharging yourself, stop
Yeah.
undervaluing yourself. We change people's lives.
Yes. Yeah.
You
When there
know,
was a pandemic, we were still
we're
needed.
essential. We're on the same
We're
level as a
essential.
doctor.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that so much. I love that so much. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you, Millie. So can you let everyone know how they can follow you, how they can work with you, just as we wrap up? And thank you so much for being here. This has been amazing. This is
So,
just so
like I
cool.
said, I can talk with you for like 2 weeks. Like
Oh,
we can
I
just
reckon
go
we
on
can
forever.
just get, I reckon we'll do a few podcasts for
I
sure.
reckon we
Like
will.
it's
Let's
gonna
let's
happen.
let's cross potty. Let's cross potty.
Yep.
Oh, look,
Yep.
you can just find me online. Just look for Millie Clay. And just find me on my personal profile. I love that because I love to connect with people personally. You can find me in my group, Cut the Shit Business Coaching. It's big pink, and you can see me as the thing cracking up laughing. I don't even know what I'm laughing at, but it's
It shows your personality. Just
it's
like,
like, okay, what are
it's
you laughing
me.
at, Millie? It's a
Yeah.
fly on the wall. But it's the places for me to share my experiences, share what's happening in the salon, and really check people as well. And then yeah, you can log on to my Cut the Shit business coaching, probably from the beginning of July, provided everything goes well.
Yep. No, awesome. And your
Mm.
salon as well. So, and
Yeah,
thank you for
girl.
bringing that out on air on Hippy Soul Sessions. I'm like, oh, a little bit of
Yeah,
goss.
girl. Show off here, peeps.
I think you've just provided so much value today. Like if I owned a salon back in the day when I did, and I heard what you said today, would change my life.
Oh,
So
thank you, babe. Thank you
I
so
think what you've
much.
like, and that's what you're giving for free. So that just makes me
Hmm.
see how much you give behind the scenes, and when you work
Yeah.
with you would be absolutely amazing. So get on to Millie if you've got a salon. And if you're a hairdresser, I think even hairdressers, if they were just to chat to you about
Yes.
being staff
Yes.
members
Hmm.
and their goals
Yes.
from being a staff member is huge as
Yeah,
well.
100%. Well, thank you so much, beautiful, for having me. I really appreciate
No
you
worries.
and our mic drops and our laughs and all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff
it's been
too.
awesome. So thank you. Thank you so much, Millie. We'll see
Mwah.
we'll see you again soon. Mwah,
Yes, thank
mwah.
you, darling.
Bye.
Bye-bye.